All right, my Scorpio friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing your monthly horoscope for October of 2020. We have a jam-packed month. This is your month to shine. The shadow work, going deep beneath the veil, deep beneath the surface, and digging up these deep, dark desires, the things that we value, these things that are not on the surface level, okay? Speaking and opening our minds to vulnerable communication to balance our relationships, okay? There's an ongoing theme here with going deep into the shadows this month, okay? And we have a Mars retrograde going on right now once every 2 years. Our warrior planet of action is taking a rest, okay? We're going to have Mercury retrograde in your first house on the 13th, okay? Taking a rest, all right? So nothing is happening fast, yet nothing is happening slow. All is in order. All is perfect, as long as I stay in my lane and surrender to the flow. All right, little poem that came to me while I was meditating about this month ahead of us. We have a huge opportunity this month to manifest the life of our dreams. We have this fate and destined energy coming back here between Neptune and Saturn, and Neptune and Uranus and Saturn. I'm going to talk about that here in just a few minutes. And this energy is the universe saying it's time. It is time, my children, to stop living the life of the world and live your life. North Node and Gemini. Move in your direction, move in your path. And don't worry about healing the world. Don't worry about changing anybody else. This is about changing self-transformation, okay? And you're Scorpio, you're dealing with that deep transformative energy all the time, okay? So let's get right into it. On the first here, we've got a full moon. It's going to be in your 6th house of work and services, the services you're providing for others. And the 12th house here, the sun is shining from your 12th house. This is karma, okay? This is part of your destiny. The things that are happening behind the scenes, completions and endings, okay? Bringing balance into your life, bringing balance into the karma that you've sown, okay? Bringing karma and balance into all these relationships, these quantum entanglements or karmic entanglements that you've created over your lifetime or past lifetime, okay? As 12th house deals with past life as well. So the sun is shining its light saying, I'm ready to free myself of this trauma. I'm ready to free myself of this karma. I'm ready to free myself of this karmic debt or these quantum entanglements that I have with other people, And I must now be focused on the work and the services that I provide, okay? And must be willing to do those and putting myself out there fearlessly, okay? Vulnerably. Mars retrograde. Mercury in your 1st house. I must be vulnerable. I must be willing to communicate from the depths of my soul. I must be willing to communicate the depths of my deepest, darkest desires, okay? So this full moon here is conjunct Chiron, which brings healing, okay? Maybe you think or thought in the past that you weren't good enough to do a certain task, or you had a desire to do something, okay? There's a certain business opportunity perhaps that you wanted to do, and you said, I don't know, maybe that's not for me, okay? I get it. I know those feelings. And this is the universe saying, look, we have to clear this karma. We have to shine our light on the possibilities that you say yes, and we're going to bring it into a full illumination, and we're going to heal this part of self as Aries deals with self, that thinks that you are not good enough to move on, or the things that you need crutches. 6th house can deal with addictions to things. Maybe I have to have this to be able to do this, and this is saying, something like I talked about the other day in the dailies. It's throwing those crutches down and getting up and dancing, getting rid of these things that no longer serve us, that at one point did serve us, but are now holding us back, and recognizing these things with full illumination and bringing healing into ourselves through this illumination of the sun here in the 12th house in Libra, okay? Really powerful way to start this month off. That's going to happen at 5:06 p.m. right around the time just after I'm putting this video up, okay? Now, on the 2nd of the month, Venus has been in your 10th. Now, Venus has been in your 10th house, which is great for your career, my Scorpio friends. Hopefully, you've had, this past month has been great for your career. And now it's moving into the 11th house, shining its light on the community, Okay, the social aspects of community and valuing the community. Okay, not being a loner, not being stuck in your own space, not being stuck in your own head, okay, or just thinking about the job or the lack of money or the abundance of money or whatever it is. Okay, and now we've got to start looking at other people, thinking about other people, and valuing other people in our lives and what they bring to our lives and what we bring to their lives. And when we step up and we play our role here in our acts of services, Venus is going to come through here in the community, and people are going to truly appreciate what you value and what you bring to the table, okay? So Venus moving in the 11th house is a really cool, really powerful and positive aspect that's going on this month, okay? On the 8th is when the magic really kicks up. Okay, on the 8th is when Saturn here begins to sextile Neptune. Okay, and you get it really cool in your chart. And Neptune has been sextile to Uranus. And Uranus is sextile to Saturn. Okay, the sextile energy is fate. It is destiny. It is the universe. It is the unseen hand of the universe pushing us along, opening us up. Okay, and aligning us with our dreams, and to allow our dreams to manifest into this physical reality. And Uranus's job in this is to break and shake things up. Okay, it's breaking free, the breakthrough rebellious planet, aha, eureka moments. Okay, so when we have the laws of physical reality, Saturn, when we have our boundless dreams and our imagination, sextile to Saturn, this is saying manifest these dreams into physical reality. Okay? And we have Saturn meeting up sextile to Uranus. This is saying, look, we can break through, we can break free, and whatever has been done in the past doesn't mean that's where we have to go now. We can have a whole new chapter, a whole new life, a whole new perspective, a whole new view on life, a whole new way to communicate. Okay? Now, where this is happening for you is really beautiful. It's happening here. Saturn says, let's make it real. Let's communicate. What? We're communicating from the depths of our soul. Okay, this is about our wisdom, our knowledge, transforming our thoughts and bringing abundance into our minds. Okay? This is... let me come back for a quick second before I continue this. This is the opportunity. I think I've said this in every single video this month. When we hear the words Mercury retrograde, which Mercury is going to retrograde on the 13th, people cringe. Oh, Mercury's retrograde. I can't travel. I can't do this. I'm going to expect my computer to break. My car is going to... What's going to go wrong? What's going to go wrong in my life? This happens 3 times a year. If we're always looking at what's going to go wrong in our lives, the law of attraction says you're going to get it. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're going to get it. Oh, so many bills, so many, whatever. Well, you're thinking about your bills and you're not thinking about how to make money, then you're going to get more bills than money. Okay, so this is an opportunity with Saturn being in the 3rd house about information, communication, your intuition, how your brain works and processes information. Okay, it's saying we have to transform these thoughts. We have to bring abundance into our minds, bring flowers to this garden. Okay, and then you got Neptune here in the 5th house, which is about your personality, and sister water sign here. This is your own creative self-expression. This is romance. Okay? And this is breakthroughs. This is partnerships. Okay, so you've got romance and dreams and creativity and partnerships and solidified here in Taurus. And let's manifest it and make it as real as possible. And my thoughts are going to determine whether we're going to make this happen or whether we're not going to make this happen. Okay, whether we're going to create this business together, or we're going to create this partnership together, or we're going to create this beautiful, harmonious marriage, or we're furthering our marriage, or we're furthering our relationship with our families, the way that we're able to communicate, okay, is going under a complete shift and transformation over the next 2 months, okay, and it begins here on the 8th, and with Neptune here saying, how good can things be? This is about your personality. It's just like people know themselves for years and years and years and still discover new things about themselves. Okay, this is a huge opportunity for you, my Scorpio friends, to learn these new things about yourself, to find new things about your personality and let them shine, let them come into this physical manifestation. Let your words be their guide and guide into these beautiful blossoming relationships that are breakthrough relationships that are better than you've ever been able to have in the past. If you're already committed and you're already in a relationship, this is going to be huge because it brings new depth, open communication, vulnerable communication between you and your partner that you have never thought was possible or had dreamed of being possible. If you're not in a relationship and you're seeking one out, this is the month for you. Specifically October more than November. The seeds are planted deeply in the month of October. Okay, there are some continuations. Specifically, this septile to Saturn and Neptune will happen throughout the 23rd of November. Okay, and Saturn, septile to Uranus, 3rd house to 7th house, communication, wisdom, insight into partnerships, all of my partnerships, whatever kind of partnerships they may be, manifest, make it real, break through, breakthrough, breakthrough. Okay, so where we're stuck, where there's walls that haven't been able to move in the past, where there's stuck energy, we're able to dissolve that stuck energy and with, like a wrecking ball, come in a very beautiful and harmonious way, tear those walls down and open us up to be able to communicate from the depths of our souls, the depths of our hearts, the depths of our vulnerability to get us where we need to go. But we must be willing to do the shadow work. We must be willing to surrender and go with the flow. We must be willing to stay in our lane, right? Like the little poem, nothing's going fast, nothing's going too slow. If I stay in my lane and go with the flow, because I cannot change anyone else. I have no power over anybody else. All I can do is be me. And if I communicate from the depths of my soul in a vulnerable place, humbly, then this is the bridge that gaps these two opposing sides. Okay? Unbelievably powerful energy that's happening this month. All right? Unbelievably powerful ways to manifest your dreams into your reality, no matter what those dreams may be. Okay? So on the 13th then, Mercury here in Scorpio in your 1st house. Again, this is about you. This is about you. And Mercury is about communication and communicating the depths of yourself, the depths of your soul. Okay? And when Mercury is going to retrograde, it's putting itself to rest. Mars rules Aries, Mars rules Scorpio. Pluto also rules Scorpio. Pluto is the transformational planet, the higher octave of Mars. Mars is taking action. Pluto is active transformation, the phoenix rising from the ashes, the death and the destruction. Okay? Bad things happen and turn into positive things. Are those bad things really then negative? Or were they positive things the entire time that our perception has simply been viewed that they were bad? Okay? This is the goldfish dying and you throw it into your garden and you have the best tomatoes of your life. Okay? So I encourage everyone this month, and especially when on the 13th, when Mercury begins its retrograde cycle, to sit with ourselves, to look at the things that have gone negatively or not what we think is in our favor in our lives. And can we see how this has propelled us and pushed us in a direction of positivity? How much has blossomed and grown from that one instance that was negative, or again, appeared negative. Okay, this is a complete flip of the script and changing our minds and how we're thinking. Okay, and you're getting this energy. The septile happens through November. However, you're still going to have Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto all in there through December. Okay, and later on in December, Saturn and Jupiter move out of Capricorn. And we're done with that energy. We're done with this 3rd house, making sure we're solidifying our thoughts, making sure that we're solidifying and looking at the silver linings of things and not dreading when we hear a certain phrase, Mercury retrograde, or when we hear a certain phrase uttered from our partners or from our boss or our coworkers or whatever, that we assume a negative title to whatever's going on, or we assume a negative outcome from a circumstance which is yet to be defined, to yet to be determined. Okay? So it's important that we do this shadow work. And when we have Mercury retrograde, our thoughts can rest. We're not putting the carriage before the horse. With Mars retrograde, our actions can rest. We simply go with the flow. We just go with the river. We allow the kite to fly in the wind that exists. This isn't about running to make sure it's going up and then, you know what I'm talking about. We've all flown a kite at one point in time and we just try to run and then it just nosedives down because the wind isn't there. We're forcing something that's not presenting itself for us. Okay? So this is going with the flow, I don't know, I just got a flash of Tommy Boy. Could use a little wind here. Anyway. All right. Oh, my goodness. On the 16th, there's going to be a new moon in Libra, a new moon in this 12th house. Again, karmic completions and endings for you, my Scorpio friends. This is, again, the behind-the-scenes stuff, bringing balance into your life. Okay? Bringing balance into your life. Okay? Balance, balance, balance. And new beginnings. New beginnings. Maybe it's time to truly implement this new thinking. Maybe it's time to implement a new vulnerable way of communicating. Maybe it's time to implement, I am going to communicate those difficult aspects of my life. Okay? And it's revisiting. Maybe, Mercury retrograde at the same time of this new moon, maybe we're revisiting things from our past. Maybe we're revisiting things about ourselves that we need to communicate to the other. Okay? So that's on the 16th, this new moon, new beginning, new karmic completions, new karmic endings. Okay, this is a very, very positive thing for you. And again, allowing ourselves to do that shadow work is extremely important, because then the sun is going to enter your first house. It's going to shine its light on all of this stuff that we've been doing. Okay, all this shadow work that you've been doing, where Mercury here has stolen the fire from the gods and rushed ahead. Mercury is in the shadows. Then the sun comes to join and says, let me light your way, my little friend. Let me light your path. Let me show you. Let me show you this. This isn't a dark and scary place. There's beauty in the depth. There's beauty in vulnerability. There's strength in vulnerability. I feel like I want to come back for that. There's strength in vulnerability. It's such a common misconception. And with Pluto, the ruling planet, your ruling planet, okay, in Capricorn, saying, let's make things real. And this is about communication and insight. And knowledge, my knowledge, okay? Bringing that into self and saying, maybe I thought being this hard exterior or holding things back, and this is a very water sign thing to do, is holding things back. The water is either, neutral. It's like the three bears, when we look at the water signs, okay? Because it's dealing with the non-physical. This is Goldilocks and the three bears, and this porridge was too cold, okay? And if it's frozen and iced over, we're not communicating. We're not shining our light. If it's frozen cold, that's it. That relationship, the communication is done. Okay? And if it's too hot, if it's too boiling hot, who can join in that party? Who can jump in your hot tub and join you when it's so fiery hot? There's a neutral warmth. And that comes again with that vulnerability. So it's opening ourselves up, not being too cold, not being too hot and ferocious, but finding that balance. And that's part of what this new moon energy is about, bringing that balance into your life. And then the sun shining its way in here and saying, okay, it's time for this new, these new ways of thinking, new ways of communicating, and new ways of understanding that my vulnerability is powerful, that I can actually communicate without being frozen over to where my communication is null and void, or I can communicate from this place of peace or balance without being so hot that my communication is now pointing fingers and aggressive and blaming and criticizing that you did this. Again, nothing is happening to you. Nothing is happening against you. The universe is happening for you. Everything is happening for you. And that's the power and the beauty of this month and all the shadow work that we're doing. Okay? So the 25th, the sun enters Scorpio, your first house. On the 22nd, the sun enters Scorpio, your first house. The 25th, we get this Mercury Sun Conjunction. Okay? Really powerful because it's going to septile to the south node, which is about releasing and letting go. Okay? As well, Mercury conjunct the sun here is going to create a septile to Chiron, which is about healing. Okay? So to me, when I look at this, the sixth house is about work and services, the services you're providing for other people. The second house is about financial security, value, and money. Okay? So maybe there's a way that you've been afraid to express yourself, a business adventure that you're a little afraid to go on that could be potentially making you money. And this is saying, look, I need to, transform my life and allow my creative self-expression to flow through. okay, through all of my partnerships, through all my relationships, through my communication, through my wisdom, and allow myself to truly be boundless and live the life of my dreams, okay? So this Mercury Sun conjunction here, septile the South Node is maybe I've been thinking that I can't do this certain thing, that there's no way for me to make money out of this one thing that I really enjoy doing, this act of service that I like. Or maybe, here's it, maybe it's not about money. Maybe it's just you needing to do this and not worrying about the financial side of it. Maybe this is just you having to be the beautiful Scorpio that you are, the depth, the wisdom that you have, the beautiful mystery that you bring to the table, whatever it is, and you providing, you know, some sort of a service or act to the community and act for others, okay, that the money doesn't matter, all right? As long as you're doing yourself, as long as you're staying in your lane and flowing free, okay, this beauty is coming through. All right, so that's on the 25th. On the 27th now, Venus is going to rip through the sign of Virgo and enter Libra. Also on the 27th, Mercury is going to retrograde back here, 12th house, okay, bringing value and bringing information, again, to these karmic completions and endings. So something is going on here behind the curtains, behind the veil, while the sun is in your first house, that is of value, okay? There's value to this communication. There's value to this. There's, you know, this could be past stuff, okay? This could be past relationships. Maybe there's past relationships that are coming and resurfacing in your life. And maybe that scares the heck out of you, okay? But Uranus says, look, whatever relationships are coming my way, it's not going to be how it was. It's not going to be the way that it used to be, because there's a new sense of information. There's a new sense of communication from me. There's a new sense of self and how I view myself. There's a new sense of how I view others, okay? So this could very well be something from the past coming up. When Mercury retrogrades, we always see that. There's a revisiting of either friends or relationships of some sort, you know, the recommunication opening back up, okay? And this is saying lean into it, and to be open and vulnerable during this, and to be able to communicate again from the depths of ourselves, and to communicate to bring balance to ourselves, bringing balance to our relationships, to untangle the karmic web that we've created with one another. Okay, huge opportunity. So if people from your past do show up, don't freeze over. Don't freeze over, and don't be boiling hot to where we're bringing up those past things and pointing our finger and saying, wow, but this is a new even keel. This is a new way to communicate from a place of authority, from a place of depth and transformation, and a place of abundance. Okay, we're pouring from a full cup. All right. So that's going on the 27th. Both of those enter the sign of Libra, your 12th house. And then lastly, you know, we've got the sun in your sign. We're going to have a full moon here, again, in your relationship sector of the 7th house. And this full moon is conjunct Uranus, okay? And coming right back to what I was just saying a moment ago, I'm not a love astrologer. These aren't love readings, but I read the chart how it makes sense. And again, there's something coming up here with this full moon conjunct Uranus, an emotional need for release. Okay, emotional need for release. It's about, you know, sun here in Scorpio is about those depths, is about those deep-rooted dark desires, vulnerability, our passions, the things that drive us, sex, money, power, Scorpio, you know, and a radical new thinking, radical way to take our relationships, and an emotional need for that radical relationship, or this breakthrough in how we are with each other. And of course, this full moon on the 31st and Halloween, which is a blue moon, as our first and only blue moon of the year, is going to create that septile to Saturn, which is about communication. And Saturn is loosely conjunct to Pluto. So again, it's the depth of our communication, And Saturn, septile, destined, fate, and destiny. These are destined relationships. This is destined communication. This is your personality coming through and shining and saying, I'm not afraid to share. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable. I'm not afraid to be open and expose my heart to you, to expose this. And because that's what's necessary. And because I have this new thought that even if I expose my heart and soul and I put it on a platter for you, and if you deny it, then I know that I played my part. I know that I did what was necessary in my life. And if this is not a negative thing, whether this plate is accepted or whether this plate is denied, if this offer is accepted or denied, it doesn't matter. You have to play your part. This is not about fearing anymore. Being afraid to be open, being afraid to be vulnerable, being afraid to give our hearts, to give our souls, to give our words, to give our wisdom. And again, we're not trying to change anybody. We're changing ourselves by being open, by being communicative, by doing the shadow work, by realizing where in areas we're wrong. You know, Uranus shaking things up in Taurus. This is time for a whole new kind of relationship. All right. Whether you're in one or not, or you're starting one, this is a whole new chapter in life. All right. And you get this amazing, Uranus is going to be in your 7th house, shaking things up for many more years. Okay. Many, many more years. So, it's an unstable, rocky feeling, but at the same time, it's a necessary beginning and chapter in our lives to take us to the new heights. Right. Things must fall in order for us to recreate them even better. All right. That Jenga game was good, but it's fallen over, and now we're going to rebuild it, and it's going to be even better game. All right? But nothing's going to happen fast, but nothing's happening slow. All is well, as long as I stay in my lane and surrender to the flow. Surrender to that flowing river, my friends. We're not rushing anything this year, not rushing anything this month. Allowing things to be, allowing and accepting. If you want a personal reading from me during this month or any time at all, my email address is below. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to do that and to shine some additional light on any of these shadow areas that are going on in your life. All right. Have a very fantastic full moon today. Happy month of September, October, and we'll see you tomorrow.